Oh. Taper water wheel story. The Taper water wheel was donated to Greenfield Valley Museum by Mrs. Joan Tapper in 2011 and is a significant example of water power development. Joan was born in 1920 and the wheel belonged to her father Gwilym Morris, who was a farmer, engineer and local magistrate.
So we had the Tapper water wheel.
By the time Joan was born, her father was already making ponds to build a mill pond for the water wheel on his farm near the village of Uskbiniog. He had acquired the water wheel from two local spinster sisters, and as he was quite inventive, he intended to use the wheel to generate electricity. The power board displayed here was used to control the electricity and store energy in acid batteries. It was rare for electricity to be available in rural areas in the 1920s, so Gwilym was a real innovator. He had used his technical engineering knowledge to install a wheel on his farm. He had used it to power not only lights and machinery but a local chapel on Sundays. This must have been a big improvement to life on the farm and the local people he shared the electricity with. The water wheel was used into the 1950s, and by the 1980s Mrs. Tapper had donated the wheel to Erddig, and from there it was moved to a mill in Pentravolas. By 2011 plans were underway for the wheel to come to Greenfield Valley and the conservation project to begin, with grant money from Prism, AIM and Toyota. A professional metal conservator was employed to help the group of local volunteers restore the water wheel to working order and complete Mrs. Tapper's dream. So this must be the power board that was used. The John Edward Barwise collection. The objects displayed here are part of a large number of objects collected by local farming enthusiast John Edward Barwise, 1943 to 2016. John Edward Barwise spent 50 years collecting many historical objects and farming memorabilia. John was always interested in farming equipment. As a boy, whilst growing up at My Squin Farm, Flint, during the 1950s. When their father was ill, he took over driving the tractor to cut the corn, even though he was only 10 years old. Although their farm was sold in 1957, John's interest in farming continued and he began collecting nameplates and farming equipment. He would go to as many farm sales as he could, and you would often find him rummaging through scrap heaps, looking for nameplates and old machinery. His ambition was to start his own museum where his collection could be displayed with other farming memorabilia. The John Edward Barwise collection includes various farming implements, tractor seats and a large number of machinery plates. To display the nameplates, he fixed them to wooden headboards and painstakingly painted the tractor seats and labelled by hand, showcasing individual emblems and the quality of the metalwork. The implements and hand tools had various uses on the farm, from cultivating and weeding to planting and sowing. Huh? Too much to read in here for you guys. It looks like a museum of water power, steam power, textiles, and the history of the valley. Industrial people. Family time. Here we are, a bit further round, and this is the hatchery. So they're saying, be quiet, as it might frighten the baby animals easily. It looks like there's baby chickens in there. Looks like they can come out into this area. Just talking quietly so I don't scare them. So here's a big plastic cow. Bakehouse and pigsty. This building was one of the outbuildings belonging to the Pentre farmhouse, which was moved from the village of Lixham on the outskirts of Holywell, and probably dates from the 18th century.
What's that? Bakehouse and...
Pigsty. I don't think we can go in.
That's okay.
The forge and the blacksmith. A blacksmith is a man who works iron in a forge. Many blacksmiths were also friars who made farriers, I think it is, who also made fitted horseshoes. Blacksmithing is a very old craft dating back into the early history. Nearly every village would have had its own forge and blacksmith. They produced tools and implements made from iron and bronze for many different needs, from household utensils to fighting weapons. Many other village crafts and jobs were dependent on the skills of the blacksmith. And that's the forge. Combine barn.
What is the combined building?
Those combined are one of the most significant objects in the Greenfield Valley Trust collection.
Yeah, the person will be sat up there operating this to cut down the corn or whatever it was they were cutting.